The scene is Queensland Raceway. Although an actual virtual V8 supercar race hasn't officially been ran here, it is on this circuit, on the track nicknamed the Paperclip, that the first action of the Touring Pro Series Virtual V8 Supercar 2012 season is witnessed. As is the case every year, VV8 administration is tasked with paring down the dozens and dozens of signups into two 30-car fields. In order to do this, administration uses a process called pre-qualification, or pre-quali for short. Pre-quali is a 72-hour event where each prospective driver has to earn their place in the championship through hot lapping. The fastest 60 pods are admitted into the league, while all others are placed as reserve drivers. But only the top 30 drivers are placed into the prestigious Division 1, where all of its 10 races will be broadcasted live to thousands of viewers worldwide. The top division also pays much higher championship points to its runners. In short, to win the championship, maintain Division 1 rank is vital, and to some pilots, failing to qualify inside Division 1 is simply unacceptable, and if they are unable to score a top 30 time, some are too shattered by their failure to continue on in the championship. With so much on the line, the season fittingly begins with a race against the clock.
Tom, make it count. Tom, day one, position one, well done.
Well, I knew I was top 10 kind of pace, and I was happy with that. But unfortunate as I was in most of the series in TPS, it didn't turn out too well.
And then I was like going to qualify for what I considered to be the most professional league in the sim racing. So I was nervous, and then I watched a couple of old races, and I was like, am I really going to suit up for this? Because, I mean, these guys are top notch.
I was pretty confident heading into pre-quali that I was gonna get through the first division, fairly easily. But I didn't expect it to be that competitive. It was just ridiculously tight all the way through the field.
Things go to another level pre-quali in day two. It's traditionally the time where all the competitors, all the top drivers get onto the track for the first time.
Eric, we just need half a tenth and that'll be it.
Alright Peter, you're doing very well. Keep on like this.
Less than 2 hours remain in the 2012 pre-quali. Greco, Van Dorne, Down, and most of the top pilots have taken runs on the circuit. But the timesheets are without one key name. 2011 walkaway champ Florian Strauss has yet to set a time. Many fans are now beginning to wonder if the German is even going to attempt a defense of his title. But suddenly, with roughly 90 minutes left on the board, Strauss makes his way onto the track and tries to prove his critics wrong.
Florian was the previous league champion, and in a certain sense the guy was kind of cast into this role of defending the league, not only for himself but the TPS in general. You know, you had all these new big names, none of which were really TPS guys, and they just came right in and ran the show. So in effect, a lot of the TPS drivers looked to Florian to do something about it.
Gute Arbeit. Number one on the sheet, Florian.
I've never been a strong qualifier. That's the first thing I'm going to admit, that I'm very poor at qualifying actually. I'm more of a racer than a qualifier, so I wasn't too worried starting off in Division 2, because I know I'd make my way up.
I think most of the times when you're in pre-qualifying, you're not actually on track, you're not driving, but you're watching the timing. You want to see who is going faster than you, and especially as the days go by. On the first day it's not so bad really, but on the second day and then on the final day, you're just sitting there all the time watching who has improved. And also the times, at some point it's just crazy how everyone improves.
It was really tough. Our drivers, constantly doing laps. I was telling them to constantly practice and, just get that extra few hundredths of a second, and it made the difference.
Well, I wasn't really aiming for Division 1. I was just aiming for trying to get into Race 1. And after after Bradley had taught me this wonderful thing called Live Racers, and I saw the times, I was thinking, okay, I have enough pace to get into Division 1 at least. That's somewhat good. And then I read the rule that the top 15 can get reserved in Division 1 for the first 2 rounds. So I thought, right, that's going to be my goal.
Obviously, when I seen that add some pace, the goal was to get to the top 15, so I could stay in Division 1 if there was any problem the first few rounds. So with that done, obviously it was very good. I've never seen a pro qualification where people actually put so much effort in it.
It was also, in the beginning I thought, or in pre-qualification, there was a lot of big names. I was very excited. It was great fun to fight against Torborg and Davis, Stoffel.
So we mentioned the Touring Pro Series that had their season opener of 2012.
World-famous internet telecasters Inside Sim Racing signed on to provide coverage for Virtual V8 2012, helping the league to ascend to worldwide recognition. Seeing the league's exposure, gaming seat manufacturer GamePod then inked a deal with Touring Pro Series to become the official sponsor for the 2012 championship, making VV8 the first ever PC league to have secured a partnership with the brand known as the world's foremost manufacturer of gaming seats and chairs. With what's estimated as over 600 live viewers for the Round 1 broadcast at Albert Park, the preseason hype provided by the two outfits all culminated to produce what would go down in history as one of the most popular sim racers of all time.
Hello and welcome to the opening rounds of the virtual V8 Supercars 2012 Championship. We welcome you here to Melbourne Park.
The season started off really well, with a bang. I mean, the pre-qualification was action-packed, full of talent, but the big story is, I mean, Florian Strauss, the last season's champion, topping the board of 98 some odd drivers.
Yep.
Even ahead of guys like Casa, Greco, Thalberg, Van Dorn. It's just, you know, it's incredible that he would be able to topple the massive amount of talent that's in this league this year.
They see what the experience does. He has, of course, one season already in the car, and has, of course, the speed, and they really can see what the experience can do. And yeah, he just needed one lap, a couple of laps, to just show his speed and be the number one on the pre-qualification sheet. So.
Just to fill people in on the procedure for the race as well, there is a formation lap before each event in the virtual V8 Supercars, followed by a standing start. We'll see the drivers go around in the formation lap, they'll come around, they'll hop in their slots, they'll hopefully get in their slots pretty quickly and we can all get racing and underway. And we see it from a standing start, which is always spectacular, isn't it, Keith? I do prefer the standing starts and the rolling starts.
I do like the double wide formation laps. No, the standing starts give a lot to there's a lot to do. I mean, you've got to defend, you've got to try to overtake, and you've got to concentrate on getting off the line straight away because everyone is hungry at the start of the race.
As the drivers come round to the grid, forming up now. 5 lights are on, and it's green, and we go in the virtual V8 Supercars 2012 Championship. Strauss gets a great start away from the grid. First corner leads. He leaves the field. Slade slots into second. Carson still third. The Beck is fourth. Field streaming down towards turn 6. Unbelievable.
Francesco, the rear tires are heating up too much.
Danny, watch the car in front on the exit here. Eric, we just need you to stay in Division 1.
Great launch, Toby. Slade only is second up the road now.
Alright, Corey, Strauss is on the table. Go get him.
Awesome start, Florian. Keep on building the gap.
After 8 laps, the gap is only 4.1 seconds. It's half a second a lap.
Strauss is picking up where he left off last season.
So
yeah,
1 second between Slade and Davis, and another second between Davis and Carter. And that's difficult to get back. So Davis is right behind Corey Slade. Oh, here we are. Here's the battle. Slade's run wide at turn 4. Through turn 5 they go down towards turn 6.
He's got a great run on him here. Don't do that, Slade. Too early. Come on.
So
Davis! Davis
on the inside! I'm not sure he actually went for that, but Slade...
It was half commitment. And Slade is really under heavy attack from Davis. Levesque is looking very sporty right now.
Oh, Carl's a little wide! Levesque's opportunity! Leveque down the inside, he's going to force it, he's going to force it. He's going to force it down the inside, side by side, out on the AstroTurf. Now Carstar's the inside line, and he holds off the Euro Series champion Leveque around the outside.
He's done it!
Has the inside with the final corner. Great
He's
pass
done
there.
it! Beautiful move!
Look at this train of cars. Torborg, Asbury, Davila, Schlebo, Ailey, Bruskas, Butcher, and VR and Ripper, all very close together indeed.
Really,
Tom
really
Ailey,
good.
Tom Ailey's spinning down the field. Where's Tom Ailey gone? Down the field he's gone. There he is. No, that's not where he is. He's there.
It could have been so much worse, because if he hit that any further up, he would have bounced right across the track in front of the entire field.
Yellow flag in sector 3. No overtaking, guys.
Yeah,
he is. Got some paint back actually.
Look at this. Look at just ahead of
train.
That is
unbelievable.
Incredible. Just absolutely incredible to see that many cars.
I would not like to be a
Beautiful.
villain.
Oh, no! Oh, contact!
Oh, in the wall!
What happened there?
Brent's in the wall.
Oh, who's that? Is that?
Brent's not it.
And Strauss takes the victory, first free quali, and now Melbourne. So far, nobody can challenge the 2011 champion.
The competition in the V8s is probably the toughest of all the leagues, I think. It's a stacked field where you have guys racing huge talent there, the fastest guys in sim racing. But it's also a deep league. There's lots of good racers, and there's lots of different levels of racing that are going on from the top of the first division down to the second division. And that's the great thing, is that even though there's drivers there that somebody like me will never compete against, I'll never race door to door with those guys. But there's lots of racing going on all throughout, and we're all trying to make it into Division 1 and then see where you can get against that competition, because that's where the best are racing. So it really is a privilege and a lot of fun to be racing against all of the drivers in this league.
Well, the intensity of Melbourne just before the start of the season, it was just crazy. I mean, as drivers, we came into that event and it was just such a massive test. You know, we didn't know all the opposition, but we'd seen the pre-qualifying times, and to go against sort of the world-class talent that was there, you know, we were just really kind of trying to concentrate and trying to make it the best. We were trying to do the best we possibly could. But I mean, that race in itself just kind of set up the championship as a whole, and you could see as a result of that race who was going to be quick and who wasn't, and we were pleasantly surprised at THR that me and Jesper were so close, and you know, the fact that Barbagallo was just a few weeks away meant that all the preparation we'd done for Melbourne, we had to reapply ourselves to Barbagallo. It was great.
We're going to be covering the second round, as I'm saying, and we are live here at Barbagallo. And everyone is getting ready to drive in this event. So the Virtual V8 Supercars Round 2 of 2012, sponsored by GamePod.co.uk. Cars everywhere at the back, someone stole, people on the grass, who is that? And Danny Asbury's out! And the cars come straight through, over the Craig Lowndes curve as I like to call it, round turn 3 and turn 4. And Van Dorn is leading by 0.4 a second for Toby Davis. Toby Davis up to second!
The season opener at Melbourne saw many top competitors finish strongly, but there were also many that didn't, further raising the stakes for round 2 at Barbagallo. Stoffel Vandoorne pegged as a preseason favorite, had to miss round 1 due to racing in the Formula 3 Renault Championship, a real-life racing series. So he simply couldn't afford any mistakes at Barbagallo. But sadly for him, Toby Davis wasn't in the mood to be denied the top step on the podium.
Van Dorn in first. Davis in second. Look at how he's pressuring the Belgian. Toby's going for it. Toby's going for it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how Van Dorn's gonna keep the car on him, because with this kind of pressure that Davis is putting on, Davis can kind of, you know, push when he needs to, but Van Dorn has to push to keep him behind, because this is menacing. This is menacing.
And for once, actually, Toby Davis looks smoother of the drivers out of track.
That's why he's my pick.
Stoffel is weak in sector 1. Go get him.
Okay, Stoffel, let's get the Captain Davis. Let's put this guy away early.
Van Dorn switching all the track and more.
They're just a car length.
Here we go.
On the game pod wing.
Look how on the game pod wing. Looking at how close Toby Davis got to taking the lead of this race. Try to squeeze down there. Stoffel was having none of it.
Talbot, Vilar, Ruskus, everyone ahead of them are now into the pits, and Van Dorn and Davis are coming by to regain the lead. And look at how close he is, Davis! He's look at that inside!
He's squeezing! Contact! What a race! Van Dorn, superb, soaking up with the pressure all race long. He led every single lap pretty much from Davis and was under pressure the whole entire time. Superb performance.
You know, Toby was challenging Stoffel Van Dorn, you know, Formula Renault driver, for the whole race, and at the same pace as him for the whole race. You know, even with the pit stop phase and everything, they just kept fighting and fighting and fighting, and the amount of times that Toby just sniffed to the inside of a corner and Stoffel just did a very legal move to cut him off, it was ridiculous. But Stoffel, you know, kept pushing. You know, everything was legal, and he got a very deserved win. Even though, personally, they both deserved to win. Because it was just stunning from both of them.
Virtual V8 would then rush the streets of Adelaide in 2 weeks' time, completing the third leg of the championship. Talbot would stake claim to the win and the championship lead, surpassing teammate Toby Davis after the Englishman crashed out of the race. But behind the scenes, something was brewing. Inside Sim Racing had long since been on bad terms with Race Department, TPS's home since the league was founded in 2010. Seeing the rapid growth of the TPS brand, ISR personally reached out to the TPS administration and proposed an offer to bring the league to the Inside Sim Racing forums, a move that would thusly sever all ties with Race Department. Negotiations finally came to a head following the race at Adelaide, and mere days after the third round of the championship, news broke of the tumultuous decision to leave Race Department. What ensued is to this day remembered as the darkest chapter in Touring Pro Series history.
After many years at Race Department, we at the Touring Pro Series feel it's time for a change in direction. In a bid to continue the league's consistent growth, the Touring Pro Series is pleased to announce that we are switching forum hosts. The move from Race Department to Inside Sim Racing will be immediate. We will not look back. But we would like to thank yourselves as racers and spectators for making this move possible. We understand that many users may not fully agree with the move away from Race Department, but it was not a decision we took lightly. After all, without Race Department, we would not be where we are today, and we will be forever grateful to them for that. Thank you for your time.
So, Mr. Barrick, what was it that brought about the move for you guys, for TPS, to move off Race Department? What exactly caused you guys to branch out?
Simply put, our progress as Touring Pro Series, our growth was halted, stagnated, due to outside forces at Race Department. We weren't allowed to grow any further. We were kind of being pushed down, actually, and limited in what we were able to do there. And we moved simply out of necessity. Our growth would have been stunted, and we would be nowhere near where we are if we had not moved. We've grown exponentially in the past year, and have grown into a worldwide force, offering some of the biggest leagues in the world in the touring car avenue. We offer the biggest prizes for any type of free league, and it's open for anyone to join. But our main reason for moving was the ability to kind of set our own rules and be able to develop what we have, relationships with our sponsors. We have no ties to anyone else for them. They are our sponsors for the drivers in our championships.
During the making of this film, I personally reached out to the RD administration to discuss some of the happenings surrounding the split. Now, they declined to go on record about their side of the story, but it was clear from my time with them that the wounds from this unfortunate separation were still there, still open. But let's make no mistake, Race Department houses the most popular sim racing league on the planet in Formula Sim Racing, and has been a stalwart in the sim racing community for years. They were fine before Touring Pro Series, and they are and will be fine after it. But it's clear to see, from any that care to notice, that there's a void in their organization because of the loss of TPS, a void they have repeatedly tried to fill. But what exacerbates this whole situation is the fact that TPS made a decision to leave Race Department without informing any RD staff member of the move. TPS was simply at RD one day and gone the next. However, such a rash decision was brought about after years of neglect from RD, who refused to promote the championship, blocked off media, and disrupted the sponsorship deals with the Touring Pro Series. Things that fellow RD league, FSR, never had to deal with. Regardless, mistakes were made on both sides. And for VV8 2012, it meant the drivers now had to endure a different kind of struggle.
Then it came the move from of TPS from Race Department to Inside Sim Racing with the forum and stuff. Did that affect you in any way as a driver? It concerned you or something like that?
No, it wasn't. I would like it more if they stayed by Race Department. I think we lost a lot of good guys. Not for racing, maybe. Of course, a couple of for racing, but also so the community was great. I think in Race Department, a lot of other leagues, yeah, and so on.
Is there any regret on how it all went down in the end?
No. There's no regret.
Although the field strength was still formidable for the 4th round of the championship at Hidden Valley, viewership dipped to a season low following the move away from RD's robust fan base. Stoffel Vandoorne would once again take to the grid after missing the action at Adelaide, and would take his 2nd pole position of the season. The race itself was a brutal affair of tire conservation and pit strategy, which created for many close battles on track. But a critical move on lap 15 saw Jasper Tolberg overtake Vandoorne for the lead, a move that would be later called one of the greatest overtakes in TPS history. It was in this moment that Tolberg became the favorite to win the championship, as the Dane would go on to win the race from Florian Strauss, William Levike, Stoffel Vandoorne, and Eric Strachan.
Life is tough. That's a given. When you stand up, you're going to be shoved back down. When you're down, you're going to be stepped on. My advice to you doesn't come with a lot of bells and whistles. It's no secret. You'll fall down, you'll stumble, you'll get pushed, you'll land square on your face. But every time that happens, you get back on your feet. You get up just as fast as you can.
During the 2011 campaign, Florian Strauss captivated the hearts and minds of the VV8 fanbase by creating this inspirational video of how to deal with adversity in sim racing. Strauss made such a video due to his struggles in 2011 and how he fought to overcome them. The video is one of the many reasons Strauss is perhaps the most popular VV8 driver on the grid. And 2012 had developed into a similar situation as 2011. Strauss just wasn't on form, and mistakes and miscues had seen the German shuffle behind both Jasper Tolberg and Toby Davis in the standings. Round 5 at Yas Marina now loomed over the championship, and there was simply no more time for Florian to flounder. He needed results. He had to have them. And now, everyone tuned in to see if VV8's beloved son could take back the championship under the lights of the Far East.
Oh man, I love the atmosphere of this place. It's always a spectacle when the Virtual V8s get under the lights here in Abu Dhabi. We have some real storylines going for this race, Ryan. I mean, all the talk surrounding Strauss's performances this season. Can the German finally turn it around and get it done here tonight?
Well, that's a question here, Keith, but two of the players will factor into tonight's affairs. This guy right here, William Levike, is on pole position and is looking pretty formidable this week, and so is the man on P2, Danny Asbury, but of course there are question marks about his race pace. But however, Strauss will have to get around both those guys and Jesper Tolberg, who's sitting on P3 as he himself is sitting there on P4. Okay, there are the lights. 5 lights are on, and 5 lights are out, and round 5 of the championship is underway. Florian's got a great start off the line. He's charged past Tolberg. He's already having a look at Asbury.
Florian answering the call early here, showing some true champion form. He's got the move done for P2. Book it. Definitely a pre-book in there,
yes,
Ryan.
Definitely. Okay, so Levike still leads, followed very closely by Strauss. Then Asbury in position 3. Chris Butcher up to 4th. Great start by him. And Tolberg down to 5th, so that championship lead is under siege already. Here we go, here we go. Strauss doesn't want to wait. He wants to get around Levike. He's not even halfway around the opening lap.
It's done. That's a triple booking in the same lap. Amazing. Florian is a madman here tonight. You can tell he knows the world is watching. You can just see his determination to prevail in this race.
But can Florian now pull a gap? Can he check out just like he did in the season opener at Melbourne?
This may be the most intense race I've seen all season, Ryan. Just look at those cars.
Look at these cars snake their way under the hotel. Some brilliant driving on display here tonight. And the fastest man through the weekend testing, Danny Asbury, he's stalking the back of Levesque.
Danny's going to stick his nose in.
Levesque and Asbury side by side.
Hold it, guys. Hold it, guys. One slip and they're both off.
Bit of contact, but Levesque holds it. He keeps the position.
Strauss extended the gap to the cars behind, as the fight continued to fight over second position with Asbury. Meanwhile, viewership soared as fans went into a frenzy with Florian seemingly regaining his form. But Jasper Tallberg still loomed in the background. The Dane had had trouble getting clear of his THR teammates Chris Butcher and Francisco Villar. But once he did, he had little trouble pulling in Asbury for third, who he overtook for the position. Now it was a three-car battle for the lead, as Strauss, Levaik, and Tallberg approached the pit window.
Oh, Florian! He saves his spin but loses the lead. Levesque takes control of the race.
Okay, here we are. The first and front runners making their move. Levesque pits from the lead. Tallberg's going to stay out though. Tallberg's going long. Strauss follows Levesque in. This is a big, big moment in the race here. A critical junction. Such tension for the drivers. Levesque hits his marks. Looks smooth there. Florian's stop looks good as well.
Okay, Peter. Slow down. 3, 2, 1, stop. Perfect. You're perfectly in position.
Everyone is staggered through the pits. Levesque still leads from Florian and Tallberg now holds third. Perhaps the moment of the championship right here. Tallberg stalking the back of Strauss's car, looking for his opening. Everyone's been waiting for this battle. These two men were watching with a talk going into the event, and now they're going head to head for the title lead.
Well, we've seen it all season, Ryan. Florian struggling with his tire wear, and it's really worn him down in this championship. And one more slip up when it comes down to tire management, it's going to cost him this race and possibly the entire championship.
Oh, Strauss! That is a slip of concentration. That is a slip of concentration, nothing more.
Wow, Florian has completely come unhinged here.
It just snapped on him, didn't it? Like he caught it, he just snapped on him at the last second. Back live now. He's back to 6th.
Ryan, Florian Strauss is out of this race. He has taken himself out. I don't believe this.
You are now out of the race. You are now out of the race.
Jasper Tallberg would go on to claim his third consecutive race win, after making a late race pass on teammate William Levaik for the lead. But in one of the most crucial moments in the entire championship, Florian Strauss simply lost his cool and would voluntarily retire from the race, dramatically pulling his car into the garage in what is now considered one of the most infamous moments ever witnessed during a TPS race. For days after the event, TPS reporters frantically searched for information regarding Strauss and his Abu Dhabi retirement, but nothing surfaced until over 2 weeks after the event, when TPS reporter Cameron Mardaro Andre Bogdan secured an exclusive interview with the 2011 champion, where Strauss would issue the following statement. What do you make of Strauss falling away from the championship, and what do you think it did to his reputation?
Well, I think it harmed it a huge amount, actually, and he'll do well to win back his fans over that, and it's something that's pretty disappointing to me as well, also because I feel that the rest of the field caught up in terms of technique, ability, setup work, thinking, and the whole way of driving the car intelligently, and it seemed like Strauss wasn't able to adapt to that. He's got a friend of mine actually is Florian as well, so I feel bad, talking a little bit sourly about him, but it was disappointing to see, and as reigning champion, you always hope that they see out the rest of the championship.
After round 5 in Abu Dhabi, the championship would again resume across some of the most iconic tracks in Australian motorsports for round 6 through 9. And many drivers will recover from their lack of form to begin the championship, such as William Levaik, who had finally come into his own, and would blitz the title by taking 3 wins. Ross McGregor would also find his form, launching up the standings to put himself within the top 3. And Kevin Brents had finally recovered from the loss of 05 Motorsports and even took a pole position for round 7 at Simmons Plains. Peter Dweevler found his legs and would get inside the top 5. And Optimum Sim Racing's Eric Strawn continued to impress by sticking within the top 10. For round 9 at Sydney Park, William Levaik still had a mathematical chance at claiming the title, but would see all his hopes dashed against the rocks as Thalberg once again finished on podium, securing the Dane as the 2012 champion, and giving THR Orange the team's title outright. But although the championship was decided, Touring Pro Series' biggest race of the year was set to go down for round 10, as the field would travel to Mount Panorama for the 2012 finale. With each of the 30 cars on the grid required to have a co-driver, the event has turned into something of a spectacle in all of sim racing, as 60 drivers in total try to tackle the mountain, with all 4 hours of the event being broadcasted live through Multi-BC.
Oh, it's the crown jewel. It's the one everyone wants to win. It's the longest race. You have a co-driver. There's just so many factors, and it's the track. It's such a demanding track. You have to throw everything at it at every corner just to get a quick lap together. And it's so intense. The race. It's unbelievable. It's awesome.
The thing about Bathurst is it pushes you as a driver. Pushes you over the limits, push you where you didn't think you can't push anymore. And when you do actually find yourself in that place, it's absolutely amazing. It's memorable. It's what made the track so special.
That setup balance you have to find between downforce through sector 2 and straight line speed through sector 3 and 1. I can't really describe why I love it. I just found it extremely fun to race.
I mean, I wanted to win Bathurst really bad because it's a big thing. It's Bathurst, being an entrance race. It's quite an achievement.
For me, that was the most nerve-wracking one, and the reason is simply because you have a teammate. You have a race partner that you're going to share the laps with. So you're not just racing for yourself. You're racing with another driver, and that just puts added pressure on an event that's already got a lot of pressure, being the last season, the longest event, the mountain, There's just so many terrifying parts on that track where things can go wrong.
Oh, it's a wonderful, wonderful racetrack, of course, and I don't think many people complain when they see it at the end of a championship, and even if they've driven it several times at the end of the championship in the Touring Pro Series, nobody ever complains. Everybody looks forward to the challenge that is, Mount Panorama.
In my book, it means the whole thing about the series, because it's the final round. Everyone wants a piece of the action, and everyone wants to win.
Well, I think this championship was probably the highest level championship that I had ever seen.
Just when I look back to the 2012 championship, it's just astonishing to see the strength of the field. It's easily one of the biggest spectacles ever brought to sim racing.
I was pleased to see Jesper obviously taking the championship, and as a whole, as a team, we got a fantastic result out of it, and sort of cemented ourselves at the top of virtual touring car racing, I suppose.
Well, obviously V8 has been the pinnacle of TPS leagues. Obviously there's been the other leagues, the WTM and stuff, but the V8 has always been the big one, the one that people wanted to win, the one that's, in my opinion, seen the best competition, especially last season, 2012.
Well, just to even exist inside the top 15 used to take a monumental effort, for me anyway.
Quite unbelievable for both the spectators and for the drivers, because it was extremely competitive.
Such a big and professional league. This is just so much around it.
Like for example, Barbagallo one, I'm still watching back every so often.
Some things are hard to quantify, like endurance. There's a physical side to it, sure, but what's often overlooked are the mental qualities. Fortitude, willpower. Because to endure anything, the mind must first activate the body, and only then can a person see what they're made of. So here's to those that tested their wills, and the different forms their endurance took. Here's to the reliable, the David Yuns, the Nikki DeFrays, the Mate Orbands, and the consistent, the Eric Strands, the Adrian Holmes, the Ross McGregors, and the speedsters, the Peter Duivelas, the Francisco Villas, the William Levikes. And here's to the league's champion. In the face of so many falling away, a driver that kept his head straight, kept his mind clear, kept his eyes on the prize. Here's to the 2012 champion, Jasper Talberg. And here's to a league, an inanimate thing, lifeless, yet something that kept the blood pumping for hundreds of fans across the world, something that took on adversity, that stared down its own demise, something that kept living. Here's to a league that was put to the test of greatness, that had to overcome leaving the familiar behind, that had to drive on when so many drove away. Virtual V8 2012 didn't pass without its struggles. It didn't pass the test with flying colors. But it kept on. It endured the test.
I was in a musical once, so I have a bit of acting ability.
Well, because book it is you're completing a pass. Like that's why I asked if it. Okay, so is he passing someone in the pits?
It's a trademark, man. I can't just throw it out there.
You can't. No, Danny. No, you can't, Danny. You just can't, Danny. No.
Why are you making me do this?
Chris, listen. You got a good voice, okay? It's going to translate well that British accent, because THR is British. You're the guy.
No, get Toby to do this, man.
Nah, I can't have Toby voice over his own radio calls. It just sounds weird.
Get William to do it.
No, William isn't British.
In fact, angry French Canadian.
Does not need the right here bit because I don't talk like Danny Asbury.
Okay, you got. I need you.
Okay, just let me do it. I'll get better as I go along.
Okay, fine. This is not gonna work.
Oh my God, Danny.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right, we'll get right to the next line.
What the hell, Danny?
You don't hear yourself.
Okay, hold on. Let's try this one more time.
Okay. That's perfect.
That's the best one. That's the best one. That's the best one, Daddy.
When you were halfway through, I'm like, please let him finish this take and kill it, because it was great. That was great.
That was good.
Really, the bit where it says Ryan?
Exactly.
Very closely by Strauss. It's all rah 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 words.
One more time, a little clearer on crosshairs.
Bloody hell, you're not. Come on, I've got a Yorkshire accent. What do you want?
Just try one more time. Let me see how it sounds.
Okay, Will. Florian.
I've said that on TeamSpeak a few times, so I know how to sound frustrated with it.
Oh my God.
And make it. All right,
Tommy.
It sounds better. It sounds like you.
No, it doesn't sound better. Get lost. I am not saying that.
I would not say that like that in the slightest, but okay. Had to get that bit in there, didn't you, Danny? Just had to get the fact that you were fastest man throughout the week.
First time ever, so it's going in there.
He was in third, but he could have caught up second because of a slower co-driver, and he was a dumbass.
I remember that.